The World's Strongest Man is over and a new champion has been crowned for 2023. What a competition World's Strongest Man was. It's been a busy old week.
It's been a hell of a week.
We've got to update people on the final day, Auntie Liz. So we had the Dumbbell for Max final day. We had the bus pull and the Atlas stones. Let's dive into what happened on the first event, the Dumbbell for Max.
So Mitch Hooper was leading after day one of the finals, but day two of the finals, the events weren't necessarily the best for him on paper, were they?
No, not at all. Like the big kind of talking point before the Dumbbell was everyone's expecting Alexei Novikov to win this one. They're expecting Mitch and Tom especially to lose points on this one. So I think most people would look at it and say this is Tom's worst event.
Yeah.
Alexei's best, and Mitch needs an amazing performance to kind of really pull himself into the points. Dumbbell did not go to plan. Now, they opened up on 115 kilos, and it was just Jaco Schoenwinkel who didn't manage to get the first rep. But Tom Stoltman took 2 attempts at this one. And I'm sure a lot of the athletes were thinking, oh, Tom's going to drop some points here.
Yeah.
But other than Jaco unfortunately getting injured and not making the 115, every single athlete went on to hit the 115 and the 125 after that, which I was super impressed with, because at this point of the competition, they are starting to feel it. You know, you're on the very last day, their bodies are battered, and to hit 125 kilo dumbbell after everything they've done, particularly for some of these athletes, was mightily impressive.
So the next weight jump was 132 kilos. And I think probably the biggest surprise in this round was Brian, unfortunately, not hitting that weight.
Yeah, and Trey Mitchell as well.
Yeah.
Trey didn't manage to get the 132, which I think surprised a lot of people because he's just known as a pressing monster. Yeah. But, you know, log is more his thing. Dumbbell, he's good for reps, but we've never seen him push this kind of number on a max before. So, it may be a small surprise, but I don't think it was a huge surprise.
I guess.
The real big thing here is that Mitch, Tom, and Alexei all got the 132 kilos. So this was bad for Trey. He was kind of being pulled away from the chasing pack. Yeah. But huge for Tom and for Mitch.
Yeah, and also Pablo Cordiaca and Luke Stoltman getting this weight as well, which was very impressive.
And I'll tell you what as well, Evan Singleton was looking fantastic on the dumbbell early on as well.
Yeah, he was. Now, there's been a lot of talk online about the refereeing on this event. Definitely some generous calls in there.
Yeah, consistently generous calls though.
Yeah, which I guess is better than inconsistent generosity.
We've spoken about, you know, dumbbell calls before, and we're not there. We didn't have a great view. It was, you know, it's hard to say. I've seen lots of different videos now online, and I think it's fair to say a number of athletes got generous calls.
Absolutely, yeah.
So at least it was consistent across the board.
Yeah.
I do 100% strongly feel we need like a strongman rule book that is adhered to and kind of works from the top down. I know it's going to be hard to implement, but it's something we do need to address and look at. But, you know, at least it was consistent, and we look at ways to improve that in the future. Now, the incredible thing for me was at the 132, we still had 6 athletes still in this competition. Luke Stoltman hitting it. Tom Stoltman just seemed to get better.
Yeah.
He struggled a bit on the earlier reps, and then he was getting better as they went on, as they got heavier.
This was so important for Tom as well. He absolutely could not afford to drop too far behind the likes of Mitch Hooper and Alexei Novikov.
Absolutely. And I think the big shock with the 140 kilo dumbbell was that Alexei didn't get it. Yeah. He's won the dumbbell 11 times in a row, but he failed to win this time. It was amazingly Mitch Hooper getting the 140 and Evan Singleton. Both those guys taking joint first. They did try the 145. It was just too much. Yeah. I was kind of screaming for Mitch not to try it, but obviously he couldn't hear me. It didn't affect too much going forward, but a very good performance from Evan Singleton. We've been so happy to see Evan do well in this final, show people what he's capable of, because there's been a lot of criticism from fans, from critics, from myself as well, but it's good to see him get that headspace right, because that has been his biggest weakness. Physically, we've known he's always capable, and good to see him performing well. But yeah, Pavlo Cordiaca, Alexei Novikov and Tom Stoltman all failing the 140, Mitch Hooper and Evan Singleton taking a joint win on the dumbbell. So how did that leave the overall after 4 events of the final?
Well, that meant after that event, Mitch Hooper had a 3.5 point lead over Alexei Novikov, who was just half a point ahead of Tom Stoltman. But with 2 incredible events for Tom still to come, and well, I mean, the year before, Alexei
Novikov won the bus pull the year before. The big thing was Trey Mitchell kind of was pulled away from the chasing pack after the dumbbell.
Yeah. Now, I've seen some interesting vehicle pulls in my time as a strongman's wife, strongman fan, etc. This has to be the most interesting in terms of results at the end of it.
The results of this are ridiculous, to be quite honest.
Yes.
I mean, I have to say I've never seen a truck pull done so quickly at World's Strongest Man.
No.
Now, truck pulls do vary. You can't always get it the same. I've seen extremely hard truck pulls at World's Strongest Man. This one, I have to say, is on the easier side.
It looked too easy when you look at the times.
Yes, especially, and we'll go through the times in a minute. The good thing for me is that the winner was a clear winner. And I don't think anyone can kind of dispute that.
Yeah.
But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes within a second, almost 7 athletes within like a second of each other.
Yeah, 2 actually on the exact same time and taking split points on a timed event. Have we ever seen that before?
Not a World's Strongest Man, I don't think.
No.
So I'm going to go through the results. I mean, Mitch Hooper took the win again on this event. And, you know, Tom Stoltman put in a really good performance, but his time was matched. We've got Mitch Hooper in 30.24 to take the win. Then we had Evan and Tom Stoltman both on 32 seconds, 0.27 seconds. That is crazy. Then we've got Pavlo Kordiaka on 32.46. Then we have Trey Mitchell, 32.49. Brian Shaw, 32.65. Luke Stoltman, 32.83, and it's not till we get to Alexei Novikov, who won the bus pull last year, on 33.35, and Matt Ragg was 36.29. Matt Ragg went first, by the way.
Yeah.
But how close are all those times?
And the problem for the athletes, and from their perspective, within a second you can drop 6 points. Yeah. It's huge. It's huge. It
is very, very close. And like I say, normally we see much tougher pools.
Well, we were looking back at some results. I think it was 2011.
Only 3 athletes finished.
Yeah, no, I think in fact the 3rd place finisher did not finish the course. Maybe it was slightly too hard that year, but somewhere in between those would be
definitely
nice. Yeah.
But Mitch Hooper, the clear winner, 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. His bus pool last year was not the best in the world. He's worked extremely hard, and this competition has just been phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've been blown away. You know, we look at best case scenario, and he's exceeded that.
Yeah.
Okay, going into the final event, the Atlas Stones, Mitch Hooper was in a great position, 44.5 points, but Tom Stoltman was in second place, 39 points. Alexei Novikov on 34, Evan Singleton just half a point behind, 33.5. Trey Mitchell slipping down the board, 31.5. Pavlo Kordiak on 27.5, Brian Shaw on 22.5, Luke Stoltman on 18.5, Matt Ragg 16.5, and Jakob Schoenwinkel had pulled out at this point of the competition. Mitch was in a good position. He gets to go last, knew what he needed to do, and it was a tough stone run.
Yeah.
But with Tom Stoltman in this competition, you almost give him this as the banker.
Yeah.
When you're looking at best case scenarios. Mm-hmm. And then you've got to think there's guys like Brian Shaw, who's a great stone lifter. Trey Mitchell is an amazing stone lifter. You've got guys like Luke Stoltman, Evan Singleton, also very, very good stone lifters.
There wasn't a bad stone lifter there. When you look across the board, they're all really good. And Mitch, he had a 5.5 point lead. And because Jakob Schoenwinkel was out, that means last place, as long as you lift a stone, you get 2 points anyway. Yeah. So he couldn't come any worse than sixth place.
He had to be 6 to guarantee the win.
But with so many people failing the 5th stone, to our surprise, we knew that either a fast
It didn't surprise me so much. I think it surprised you more than me.
It surprised me,
It was a tough set of stones, plus they have to walk them in, which again is a draining factor at World's Strongest Man. And you've got to think it's the last event after the heats and the final. Yeah. So it didn't surprise me that lots of guys failed. I mean, 1 or 2 I thought might. Brian Shaw, it would have been so good to see him go out lifting that 5th stone.
Yeah, definitely.
He was very, very quick on 4.
He was, yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't until we saw Trey Mitchell go that we saw all the stones lifted. Trey's time was good enough for 3rd place.
Yeah.
It was the last pairing that was the only pair that could do all 5 stones. Tom Stoltman doing exactly what we expected. Taking the win, trying to put the pressure on Mitch, but Mitch blasted through 4 and he got the 5th stone up in the 2nd fastest time. So it's been a dominant performance. You can see the reaction from us on the live.
Yeah, let's show that now, because obviously we were waiting on results, live streaming it as the results came through. So you can enjoy Coach Loz's reaction here.
Mitch has got the 4th, and I think he's quick enough.
Yeah, he
Come
is
on,
quick
Mitch.
enough. He is.
Tom going to finish all 5. Is he going to get it? Yeah, go on, Tom.
Tom's
get it
got
up.
the 5th.
Come on then, Mitch. Get this
Come on,
stone
Mitch.
up. Yes! Yes! Yes!
He's
Oh,
done
man.
it. Mitch Hooper is the world's strongest man 2023. Woo!
Yes!
Yay!
Mitch Hooper wins.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, man.
Ah, woohoo! There we
Mitch
go.
Hooper is the world's strongest man 2023.
My chair again, Lossie.
I don't care about the chair.
And what can I say? It's been an emotional week. We are so proud of Mitch Hooper. We're proud of all the athletes. You know, obviously I'm coach of Mitch and invested in him, but Tom Stoltman, he's not been outside the top 2 at World's Strongest Man in 4 years now. 2 second places, 2 first places. That is a hell of a streak at World's Strongest Man. Alexei Novikov rounding out another podium. It's so hard to see that man off a podium, and when you think how often he competes as well.
I know.
So Evan and Trey were joint on points, and because it goes on the stones as the last event, Trey Mitchell will end up being 4th, Evan 5th. But what a performance from both those guys, particularly Evan. So good to see him doing what we know he's capable of. Pavlo Kordiaki had a bit of maybe bad luck, we call it, maybe just mistakes, but he's put in a real solid performance and shown that he is one of the absolute best in the world, and I can't wait to see what he does next year.
Definitely.
He's going to feel disappointed, but that fire is going to be lit under his belly, and he's going to want to come back and improve on that. Brian Shaw, what can you say about this man? He finishes his last ever World's Strongest Man in 7th place. That is 15 straight finals in a row.
Where he's been 7th or higher in the world.
the top 10 in the world for 15 years straight.
Top 7 in the world.
Well, absolutely. But just to have that consistency, to never miss a final in that much time, the things that he's done for the sport are unbelievable. He's inspired so many. I got to compete against Brian in his first ever Worlds. He was 3rd in the group, I was 4th in the group, and you know, it's been a pleasure and a nightmare at times to have to compete against Brian through my career, but it's been an honour, and I hope he goes on and does great things. I'm sure he will. I'm convinced he's going to stay involved in the sport,
100%,
help it grow, and he's just been absolutely amazing. It's not his last competition. He is doing one more for Brian Shaw fans. Get to the Shaw Classic this year and support him there, because that is going to be a party. But Brian's last World's Strongest Man ever, he finishes in 7th place.
Luke Stoltman in 8th place, ending his streak of 3 7th place finishes, but I'm sure he does not mind giving it up to Brian Shaw if he had to give it up to anyone.
Yeah, and do you know what? What I loved about Luke, he just kept fighting all the time.
He didn't have any really good events in here.
These were not the best events for Luke, and he's still in the final. He's still there fighting, and I can't wait to see him back in action soon. Matt Ragg and Jakob Schoenfinkel, these 2 guys have been a revelation. So good to see new athletes from different regions getting represented in the final again at World's Strongest Man. Can't wait to see what this experience does for them going forward and seeing how they can improve once again. It's been an exciting World's Strongest Man. There are still things that we want to improve. World's Strongest Man, no, we're pretty vocal about that. But World's Strongest Man is also the major show, the show that grows the sport more than any. And one day we will get it live. I'm telling you, we're gonna convince them to get Strongman alive. But thank you for tuning in to all our lives over the week. We hope you enjoyed the recap videos. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time. Stay strong.